Welcome to the final question of our video series where we are going through the Grade 12 CAT Computer Application Technology Prac exam for November 2025. We're there at the final hurdle, which is the final question, and let's finish strong by getting this question completed. It's going to incorporate a whole bunch of things from all the packages that we've learned, some tricky questions, some advanced questions, so some really good practice when we're dealing with these question 7s. Just a reminder that there are links to the data files in the video description, so really go and download the data files, go give it a try, and then come back and see where you went wrong and where you went right, because that's the best way to learn. So let's find out how to do question number 7. Now, I remember when students were doing this question that a lot of them were talking about the last question, and so let's see where all the hassle was. Where did they struggle? Where can we improve? We got 7.1 where we got to prepare a mail merge for this. So we got to open up the 7-letter document. So I've got it over there. Let's open it up. So here we've got our document, and we need to link it to the 7 new students spreadsheet. And we only want students who are enrolled for web design or game development, and then we're going to add the first name, but we're not going to complete the merge. So it's very simple, mail merge. We're going to go through those steps. So remember, the first step is coming here to mailings, and we're going to go from this way all the way across, but we're not going to complete the merge. So we'll start the merge. We are using a letter here. So let's go and say we're going to do letters, and then we're going to go select where we're getting our data from. Now remember, they said we're getting our data from the 7 new students spreadsheet. So let's go here, let's go use an existing list. So there are the data files. If I scroll down, there's 7 new students. I'm going to click on that and go open. And I assume there's only one table. So let's click OK. And they said we only want web design or game development courses. So how do I limit that? So I'm going to come here to edit the recipient list. And you can see there's game development and web design are the types of courses. Let's do a filter. So we want where the field courses is equal to game development. Make sure you spell it correctly. And we also want where the courses is equal to web design. So we want one of those two options. Now, just take note, it's impossible for that field to be equal to game development and at the same time be equal to web design. It's either one or the other. So although we want that criteria and that criteria, we actually want that criteria, all of that. So this must be changed to an or. If you left it as an and click OK, you get no results. But if we come here and go or and click OK, we get only the game development and only the web design people. So that's how we limit it to just those people. And then we must add the first name, which I'm assuming is over here by the highlighted. So we're going to select this text and we're going to replace the first name from the merge field. So let's look at the options. There we go. There's the first name field. Click on it. Boom. And now it's added this. If I go here and preview, you can see that the name of the person is there now. So that's how we know that it's working, by clicking on that preview. So we added the first name, just selected those. We connect to that spreadsheet, so we've done all the steps. We do not complete the mail merge, we just leave it like that. We can save, and now we can leave it like that and close. So let's move on now to 7.2, which is the 7 stats spreadsheet, which is that one over there. Let's make sure we're working the right data sheet. It says work in the total costs, which we are at the moment. And there's quite a bit here. So we want to calculate the total income percentage in cell C5. In C5, let's go to C5 over there. We're going to work out the total sales percentage. So they give us the steps that we need to do. So use a formula in E8 to determine the total income for web design. So in E8 over here, let's work out the total cost for web design. I'm assuming if I look here, that times by that equals to the total cost. So I'm assuming if there's 75 students and the course costs 2,000, that's how much income we're going to get. I'm assuming that's correct. If I drag that down, does it change the other values? No, it doesn't. So therefore we know that is correct. We know that is the correct result. So it's that multiplied by that to work out what web design is. Okay, so we've got one working. Then create a data validation drop-down list in B5 and use that list in the courses worksheet. Data validation. So if I click here, B5, we need some sort of data validation. That's data. And we're going to come across here to data validation. And we want data validation. And they said a drop-down list cell and use the list in the courses worksheet. We want a drop-down list. We want some sort of list. I think that's what we want. And where are we getting the data from? We're getting it from the courses worksheet. So if I click on that, let's go to courses. I think those are our options over there. It's one of those options. I'm not selecting the heading, just selecting what options are available. So if I click back and click OK, if I click there, you can see now we've got one of those options. Okay, so we've done the data validation. So that's working. And then step 3, a formula in C5 which is there, so that the total income percentage per course is automatically calculated based on the type of course selected. So there's a SUMIF over here. So that's SUMIF. Remember, SUMIF without the S, that's looking in the blue block for web design. So it's looking for, when it sees web design in the blue block, it goes and adds the value in the red block. So we need to change this so that it's looking in the blue block for whatever is in that block. So instead of the word web design, I'm going to make it whatever is B5. So whatever we select in B5, it'll look for it in here. And if whatever match it is, it'll come across here and total it. So let's try that first. Press enter. Okay, so it's a percentage. That's quite a big percentage. Okay, that SUMIF is probably working. If it's web design, if I change it, I want to see that value change. Okay, it is working. So whenever we change mobile, it's adding up these values. Where's other mobile development? There it is. So it adds those together. Okay, great. But the percentage income per course, I'm assuming that's the total percentage of compared to the entire grand total, because the percentage is what sum is of what you're looking for divided by the total of everything, and that's the total of everything. So I've got a funny feeling we need to divide this answer by the total course. So for example, if web design is 40,000, it would be 40,000 of that amount, which would give me the percentage that it is. So I think I'm going to put it divided by E23, and that looks a lot better. Do they give us an example? They say web design is 17.83. So if I select web design, 17.83. So we changed it so that it wasn't just always looking for web design, it was looking for that value, and then that's going to sum all of these totals based on which one we select. But we want to find what percentage it is of all the courses. So once we've added up all the web design, that must be divided by how much it is in total to work out the percentage. So I hope that made sense. I think that's all we have to do. That looks like it's all we have to do. I think that's that. Fantastic. Let's move on to the next one. We're going to work in the timesheet. So let's save and go to the timesheet and come over here. So now we need to work out in D3. So D3, we're going to put a formula in there. And they say students who completed the course will collect the certificates at an allocated time slot. Time slots are between 7 o'clock and 10 o'clock. And the time slots are in 15-minute intervals. And there will be 12 intervals. So there are 12 intervals in total. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, so let's think about this. Modify the function to generate a random time slot. Ignore if students have the same. Okay, so we don't mind if they've got the same one. Just generate a random time slot, either from 7 to 10. Sometime between there. It must be in the 15. So 15, 30, 45, so on. That's quite tricky. So how do we do that? Well, we've got the time function there. How does the time function work? It's the hour, the minute. I don't worry about the seconds. So the hour, I put in 7 there, for example, it will put 7 o'clock. If I put in 15 by the minutes, it'll be 15. Now, what happens if I put in, now we know that there's 60 minutes in an hour. You do know that. So if I put in like 49, then it's 7:49. But what happens if I put a ridiculously large number? What happens if I put 65 minutes with the 7? I wonder what that does. Do you see how it automatically makes that 65 minutes go up into the 8? That helps me a lot, because by doing that, I know that there are 12 time slots and they're all a difference of 15 minutes. So if I generate a random number between 1 and 12, I mean even 0 and 12, I know there are 12 intervals, 15 minutes each. If I generate a random number, they're giving me this as an idea. So look, if it's 0, there's 0, 15 minutes. If there's 1, there's 1. There are 12 possibles technically with the 0. So if I generate a random number from 0 to 12 and I multiply it by 15, so let's say I get 5 as my random number. What is 5 times 15? It's going to be 75, which means it's going to be 75 minutes after 7, which is 8:15. I think that'll work. So let's try that. If I come over here, I know it's always going to start at 7 because we're going to generate from 0 to 12 random numbers. So I'm going to use the rand between, and I need 2 numbers here. The first number is what's the lowest amount. So we're going to take a 0 as my lowest amount, and the biggest number is going to be a 12. So we generate a random between 0 and 12. Now let's just see if that works for now. If I just type things away, are we seeing that the minutes are between 0 and, I'm assuming, 12? Just changing things so that it can change things. Okay, so the random number is generated, but I want to take that number, 0 to 12, and multiply it by 15. You see, if I've got from 0 to 12, and I've got 15, so let's say it's a 6, and I've got 6 times 15 equals 90. So it'll put those 90 minutes on top of the 7, because we start at 7, and it'll put those 90 minutes on top and make it 8:30. For example. So if I drag that down, There we can see it's generating random numbers between 7 and 10. I think it's above 10, and they are in 50-minute intervals. That is one way to do it. I like that. I think that works. Another way, another possibility, what we could do is something like this. If I go equal time, because remember it was like this when we originally got it. Okay, so when it was like that. So let's try something different. What happens if we use a random, so we know we must get between 7 and 10, and it could be 15, or it could be 0 actually, and 15 and 30 and 45. So those are 4 possibilities for the minutes. So let's generate a random number between those two, between 7 and 10. So we're going to come here to time, and the hour, you could have thought of it like this. Hour must be a random number between 7 and 10. Do you see that? Oh, what did I miss? Ran between, sorry, not random, ran between. Ran between. So if I look at that, are you seeing that it's random 7 numbers up until 10? Okay, so that's working. But now the minutes, I don't care about the seconds, the minutes must be either 0, 15, 30, or 45. So to do that, those are all, if I say 15, to get 0, and I've got like equals to 15. So that is 15 times it by 0. And this is 15 times it by 1. And this is 15 times it by 2. And this is 15 times it by 3. So those are my range of numbers. So if I generate a random from 1 to 3, or from 0 to 3, then I can get that relevant number over there. I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go here and go, okay, ran between, for the minutes, we're going to pick a random from 0 until 3. And then whatever that number is, we're going to multiply it by 15 to get either 15, or to get 0 or 15 or 30 or 45. So if I do all that, okay, there's already a problem. Okay, so if I do that, okay, it's working. The only problem is that it's going above 10 o'clock. So maybe instead of going till 10, because 10 can only be 10 o'clock, let's try do 9. So I go from, I do 9. Okay, so if I do that, I don't know if I'm ever going to get a 10 though. How do we get a 10? Well, I suppose the other possibility is actually if we get 4, 4 is also an option, because if 4 times 15 is going to equal to 60 minutes, and if it's 9 o'clock plus the 60 minutes, it'll make it 10. So maybe that should be a 4. I don't know. Let's try that. I'd make that a 4. It's still going from 7 to 9, but it's giving it one of these options as the minutes. And if it's a 60, then that 9 o'clock will become 10 o'clock. It won't go above that. So if I do that and scroll that down, oh, there's 10. And there's nothing above 10. Yeah, that's another way of doing it. Okay, so there we go. I tried to explain it 2 ways. Those are 2 possible ways. So the one way is to do 7 and then just get 0 to 12 options for 15. And that's why they gave us that 0 to 12. So that's 15, 30, 45, and so on. So it could be something like that. Or the other option was to just generate a number between 7 and 9 and then just generate either a 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4 and then just multiply that by 15 to get one of those options. Noting that if it is 9 and we add 4, by some chance 60 is going to make it 10. It's not going to go above that. That's the biggest it can go. Is the biggest number there is of 9. The biggest number there is of 4. So that would be 9 o'clock plus 60 minutes, which is 10 o'clock. There we go. It was quite complicated, but it was doable. We could at least get some of the marks for that. So hopefully you've learned how to do that. With experience, try out other question 7s. They'll give you experience of what you can do. And the more you do, the more you will be better at handling these integrated questions. Hopefully it's been useful. Please make sure that you go check out all the videos. We've got other exam papers on the channel. Make sure that you go and look at the playlist tab. Make sure that you are practicing as many papers as you can. The more practice you get, the better you'll get. Well done, grade 12s. Good luck for the exam whenever you're writing, and I hope it really goes well. I'll be holding thumbs for all of you. Write well and go get those good marks. Those other playlists will have all the exam papers you need. So go to the YouTube channel at Mr. Long IT and Cat. Go click on the subscribe button. Also check out our computer terms channel for helpful theory. We're also on TikTok at Mr. Long Education. And remember, don't do it the long way, do it the Mr. Long way.